The head, the tail, the whole damn thing.
Welcome once again to The Head, the Tail, the Whole Damn Thing, where industry professionals Mike D. McCarty and James Knight review contemporary horror films and pair them with, dare I say, classic horror. Today's episode is Y2K, along with Maximum Overdrive. Wasn't Emilio Estevez in that one? Yes, I can remember now. Enjoy.
What was that about?
I just had to reboot. I had to do it the other day when I was editing the Godzilla episode. I don't know why, but, sometimes I'll move my computer from one room to the other and plug it in, and none of this shit works.
Sure. Like it's going haywire. You don't know exactly what to expect from your computer.
Yeah, exactly.
Huh.
Oh, how strange.
Yeah. Did you plan that?
No, I did not.
Do you know, both the movies we're talking about, no one ever thinks to unplug something and plug it back in.
That's right. No one turns it off and reboots it.
Yeah, never. Not in the 80s and not in 99 into 2000.
You'd think Garrett would have come up with that idea at one point.
He could have. He had a lot of good ideas.
He did. We'll get into those.
Yeah.
For sure. So, both of tonight's movies have writer, director, actor in it.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize that.
I was shoveling horse shit, and I realized that outside.
Yeah, because, of course, we've got the cameo at the very beginning of our first feature from 1986.
Yeah. Do we want to just jump right in and have you tell us what that movie is?
We can jump right in. So, of course, the movies we're talking about today, 1986's Maximum Overdrive and 2024's Y2K, about machines gone wild.
Yes.
They take that trip down to Cabo and everything goes crazy. All the rules out the window.
Holy mackerel.
God, do you remember those old Girls Gone Wild commercials that would come on late at night? That's some late 90s nostalgia.
Oh, yeah. I have no idea what you're talking about. What Girls Gone Wild videos? I don't know.
It was like a staple of late night TV in the late 90s, early 2000s. All you had to do was step past like 11:30 and then every other commercial was for Girls Gone Wild.
Yeah, or 976 Party Line.
Oh, yeah. 976 Party Line. Staple of USA up all night programming.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
We all remember that. We all remember that.
Of course we do.
We don't talk about it at parties. No, what we are going to talk about, though, is Maximum Overdrive, written and directed by Stephen King. And, as I was researching this movie and plunking around on the dark web, I found old trailer. It's like an outtake of a trailer, I guess.
Oh.
They didn't end up using this.
Okay.
But
you and your dark web.
Yeah.
You found something similar for Carrie. It's always Stephen King related, isn't it?
It's the Stephen King dark web.
SKDW.com.
Get that domain right now. If
I'm buying it. I just bought it.
Get it right now. No, but I was tooling around the dark web and I found this. I think it's an outtake for a trailer for Maximum Overdrive. But I was like, that gives you the idea of what it's about. So let's take a listen.
Nice.
The year is 1987. Earth's orbit has brought it directly into the tail of a rogue comet. The night sky glows green, but during the day, Earth's people move about their business. Little do they expect that all hell is about to break loose as electrical and mechanical devices become animated homicidal killing machines. Every automobile turns into a death-dealing... Most automobiles turn into a death deal. No, it's not most. It's if you're in a car, you're probably safe. But trucks, every truck becomes a death deal. Fuck, no, that's not even. Semis, pretty much every semi truck becomes a death-dealing 18-wheeling murder mobile. Powered devices from electric carving knives to video games and everything in between. Fuck, not if some shit does and some shit doesn't. In a world where no one knows quite what the fuck is going on. Marginal entertainment, minimal intelligence, maximum overdrive.
Yeah. God,
Yeah.
that kind of says it all. That kind of says it all for me right there.
I like the old school AC/DC behind it.
Yeah. Well, this movie does bring the rock and roll. Not every track on the album is a hit.
Yeah.
But there's going to be lots of car crunching, exploding, high body count, carnage in Maximum Overdrive. What did you think about this movie?
I think, let's turn the floor of the Coliseum into a giant mud pit.
Yeah! Sunday, Sunday, Sunday!
This movie is maximally absurd.
That's true.
Directed by coked out Stephen King.
Yeah, by his own admission, right?
By his own admission.
So coked out he didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah, I gotta say this one thing, because Emilio Estevez, not his proudest moment, right?
Certainly, but he's on top of the world right now. 86. This is maybe peak Emilio.
This is peak Emilio. So he was asked at one point what he thinks about the movie. And Emilio's comment was this. Oh, God, yeah, I'm not speaking out of class because he knows it's a terrible movie, but Stephen King often talks about his one directorial experience on Maximum Overdrive, which I was in. The few times that I've connected with him over the years, he's like, can you forgive me for that? I think at one point my mom said, why did you do that movie? And I said, I wanted to work with Stephen King. And she said,
sure.
Couldn't you have just helped him paint his house?
Oh, it's amazing. Wow. Mom, zing.
Yeah. Our own mom would have done something like that.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's amazing. Can you imagine, like, you've never directed a movie before, and so you think the best course of action is just to be completely on drugs all the time?
Yeah.
while you handle your business?
Yeah.
Like, not sure how this works or who I should talk to or how I can communicate to people, but I'll just take a bag of cocaine with me and I'm sure it'll sort itself out.
You know what would be cool? What if that vending machine was firing soda cans at that guy? How great would that be? Get the effects guy Bob over here.
As it turns out, really great. Actually, that's some of the most fun that this movie gets.
I gotta say, for as dumb as this movie is, it is fun. It's not good. This is not a good movie.
No, not at all.
No.
One of the worst we have watched, so I would say. But it does have fun moments. You're not wrong at all. It's based on a short story, first of all, right? One of Stephen King's short stories, Trucks, I think, was in the book Night Shift. And although
it was actually first in a magazine in
really?
1977. Yeah.
Oh, no shit.
One of his earliest published works was Trucks.
And I am assuming that it is about the people sequestered in the truck stop while their sentient trucks are circling around them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Ironically, that original story, in my opinion, weakest part of this movie. That's where it loses all momentum, honestly.
The plot, from A to Z, is where this movie loses it.
It's like he padded it with all this other stuff, and that stuff is actually pretty entertaining. It's once they get to the truck stop. But let's start at the beginning, right off the bat. And yeah, you pointed it out. Writer, director, actor.
Yes, actor, as an ATM machine, calls him an asshole.
Yeah. Yeah, right off the bat, too. So it opens up on like a city streets in North Carolina. And the LED, it's not even an LED screen, I don't think, at this point. Or what?
It's a CRT screen.
Whoo, CRT, back when critical race theory only lit our buildings. It's a CRT screen. Okay, and it goes from doing the clock and the temperature to saying, fuck you, which that's pretty funny. I had never seen anything like that in a movie before. Just brazen.
Yeah.
I should say the very first clip is a very fake-looking picture of Earth with some green glow around it and a slide that says that Earth has been stuck in the tail of a comet.
Yeah, that's a really good way to open it. And I don't remember that being in the story. I think this was like something they just tagged on at the beginning, like, so why'd this happen, Steven? And he went, I don't know. What if there was like a comet or something?
Rogue comet. Hey, good enough. Listen, I've read enough Marvel comics in my day. I'm just going to go with this. Silly explanation. But you get the fuck you on the CRT screen, and then the ATM calls Stephen King an asshole. Funny.
Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah.
And then you go to the drawbridge.
Yep.
Where Mutt and Jeff are playing some card game and picking their noses.
Yeah.
And then the drawbridge malfunctions while all the cars are on it, and you get a really bizarre scene of carnage. The drawbridge.
With watermelons,
so
and an
many
AC/DC van.
Watermelons.
And
he was really invested in those watermelons in that scene.
You know, there must have been a sale. Or a truck went by full of watermelons, and he went, whoa, stop that guy.
Well, I think it was pretty common, especially back in the 80s, that anytime there was a car chase or a chase through city streets, that there had to be some sort of fruit stand that got, like, knocked over. They didn't do that in this movie. Instead, they just had a truck full of watermelons.
Yeah. It was also missing a calypso drum soundtrack, which had most 80s movies as well.
Yeah. Some Lalo Schifrin beats in the background. Yeah. But yeah, the watermelons like getting hurled through the air. I wasn't sure.
Why are the watermelons being thrown off the truck? Like, what's throwing them?
The physics of that drawbridge were astounding. I thought.
Absolutely. And his choices at the time of when to go to slow motion. It's like the guy gets to the edge of the bridge and then in slow motion falls to the water. You're like, wow. Is that dramatic? No.
He does something between a Goofy and a Tarzan yell as he goes off there in slow motion.
Yeah.
Not once, but twice people go through windshields in that sequence.
Which is good. Okay.
That's great. One time, a watermelon comes flying through a windshield.
Yeah.
The guy gets out of the car, and the drawbridge is up, starts sliding around, and all the busted watermelons. Again, with these watermelons.
Yeah. Stephen King's got a thing for watermelons. He's got a thing for toilet humor, which we'll get into later.
Oh, my gosh.
Well.
He does. He does. But yeah, I think a truck goes off in slow motion as well.
Mm-hmm.
I did think this, having watched this movie twice, is that coked out of his mind, probably having a really good time, too, with the amount of things that blow up, break, smash, all the weapons, the guns, and everything. He was probably having a blast.
I was thinking on my drive home, you know, if I could go back in time and work on this movie, that would be amazing. Because this movie is AC/DC, trucks running over shit, cars crashing into shit blowing up, some makeup effects, and just a bunch of dumb dialogue. And I could just imagine that everyone is probably everyone is coked out of their mind. We're doing another 18-hour day, Steven. Yeah. Let's go. Bring in the Dixie truck.
Get the demolition team out here.
Yeah. Can we run over that kid again?
So we get the drawbridge, we get all that carnage, and then we go to the Dixie Boy truck stop where most of this movie will take place. And we start to meet our main characters. We got Emilio Estevez as Bill. He's the short order cook.
Yep.
Good old character actor Pat Hingle as the asshole boss in this.
Yeah.
Pat Hingle, he's just like one of those character actors that showed up time and time and time again.
Yeah.
And he's always solid. In this one, he's playing a real sort of southern asshole.
Yeah.
As he keeps our boy overworked.
And half of what he says, you can barely hear what he's saying. Like, you can't quite understand him. It's full of, like, southern euphemisms and marble mouth talk. I'll tell you what, man, that's certainly pretty resounding.
Yeah, that's right.
Bunch of Bisquick on it.
Boy, I told you. Yeah. Also, very early in the movie, and I got real excited when I saw him in the game room.
Giancarlo
Esposito in this movie.
Yeah. I would not have known had I not seen his name pop up on the screen.
Oh, no shit. Oh, see,
Yeah.
as soon as I saw him, I was like, that is a very young Gus Fring. That is a very young Giancarlo Esposito. And he is in, listen, we were there 86. We remember those game rooms back in the day.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, so sweet to go into some place like that had like multiple pinball machines, kind of like a little mini arcade in there. And Giancarlo's in the game room when shit goes haywire and the coin machine just starts barfing out quarters and the cigarette machine just explodes into Lucky Strikes and Pall Malls. The fucking jackpot. And then Giancarlo will soon get electrocuted.
Oh.
It's such a waste.
No.
Yeah. I think he gets to say, yo, mama, is like maybe his one line in this whole thing.
I think that is. And I believe he's directing it towards a pinball machine.
Yeah, pinball machine cracks suddenly, and then he looks at a video game cabinet.
Yeah.
That's
transfixed
in some hypnotic pattern.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll not see that again in this movie. What an interesting idea that is just left by the wayside. Get me another rail, Tabitha. I've got another scene to shoot. Yeah, a lot of things in this movie just sort of like, oh, that's interesting, and then just no more of that. Just move on.
Totally true.
Well, plenty of shit goes down in the old Dixie Boy at the beginning, too. Not only does Giancarlo get electrocuted, but also one of our pump boys there, I think it goes by the name of Duncan. Well, the gas ain't pumping anymore, so he does what any intelligent hombre would do.
Peer down the end of the gas pump.
Look right down the barrel.
Point it at your eye.
That's what you do. I mean, you do this for a living like him, and you know all the tricks. So
You do.
It's not working. He looks right at it.
Duncan, you try looking down the barrel of it? Shove a finger in there. Use your pinky.
And then, of course, the pump comes up and splashes him in the eyes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What is up with that psycho strings kind of AC/DC riff?
Yeah.
It's great, and I wish they used it every single time someone died, but they only do it about a third of the time, which kind of didn't make sense.
So much of this movie doesn't make sense, including, and we can talk about it right here, because it's a gas pump. It's a mechanical device here, right?
Yeah.
There seems to be no rhyme or reason to whether it's electronic or mechanical, like the buttons on the drawbridge are getting pushed down by some unseen force, and levers and knobs move.
Or turning,
The stick shifts in the trucks move.
How about the side mirror of the truck turning out to look at people talking? Spying on the people behind it.
I mean, so much of this movie is just so dumb.
Yeah.
You just have to be like, okay, this is a dumb ride. And I can choose to fucking throw my hands up or get upset about it or think too hard about it. Or you can just choose to have a fucking good time with it. And you're much better off just saying whatever and having a good time as this nonsense unfolds. It's not a kill, but the other problem that we have with the machines in this opening bat at the Dixie Boy is the electric
There's a
carving
problem?
knife.
Well, what? No.
People seldom acknowledge it. There's very little like, we gotta call the police, or let's get the army in here, or like, does anyone know what's going on? Somebody call a scientist. No, none of that.
When that carving knife suddenly turns on and cuts the waitress's arm.
Yeah.
And she screams and jumps, and then one of the patrons goes, "Did that carving knife go rabbit on you, darling?" Like, what?
Yeah, and it's great that the solution, Emilio Estevez comes in there and just grabs a ball-peen hammer and smashes it.
Yeah.
As will happen numerous times in this movie, you could just move around it, or you could just pick it up by its handle. It's not a fucking raccoon.
Well, I don't know, because it's pretty clear that a hairdryer strangled a woman.
Yeah, I believe somebody's Walkman chokes them to death, too.
Yeah. There's a bunch of things, I think, that probably could have been scenes in that movie that weren't.
Well, for me, this movie is still entertaining in its dumbness right
hell
now.
yeah.
Because then we cut over to the Little League game, right? Like,
Oh, Little League game.
we win.
Great.
We win Little League. Hey, soda's on me, guys. Coach goes over to the Pepsi machine and just takes a tab to the nuts, puts him down, takes a Diet Pepsi to the sternum, and then a Pepsi Free just fucking sends his soul flying out of his body right in the forehead. Donk. It was great.
Yeah.
It's great and it's funny.
Beans him pretty good. And then when you see him a few minutes later, his head is caved in with the imprint of the can.
Yes. The kids go up to see what's wrong with Coach, and he's dead. He's been killed by the soda machine, and then it just starts rapid fire firing out like 12 ounces of death.
You see that one kid running away, gets beamed in the middle of the back and falls down? Can you imagine a bunch of special effects guys on the side? All right, boys, Stephen King coked out of his mind. All right, everybody grab a tab out of the cooler. All right, kids, on the count of 3, you're going to run.
Totally. Wait, what? 1? Did he say 2? Oh.
What? No.
3.
All right, hurl them.
Yeah. Just cans of Old Milwaukee rocketing through the air. Oh.
Olympia. With the pull tab on the top.
It's fucking
that
great.
Peels away. Yeah.
It's funny. And then our hero kid escapes from there, but not before.
The steamroller? Yeah.
Crashing through center field.
Yeah.
Takes out one of the kids. Bold move.
It is a bold
86.
move.
Kill a kid.
It's fairly graphic, and from what I understand, there's actually more footage of that scene with the kid's head popping that Stephen King had in the original cut and took out because it was upsetting people.
Oh, I think it's great. I wish I could see the director's cut.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think he wants anyone to see it.
But it's still fun. This movie is still fun at this point because what could go wrong next? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've seen electric carving knife. We've seen pinball machines, video games that electrocute people. We've seen a steamroller come busting through and squish a fucking kid. Mm-hmm. It's great. And then you cut to the next scene, which is the Bible salesman and the hitchhiker. The hitchhiker, Brett, who will become our girl in this for Emilio. Mm-hmm. And so you're like, well, I guess cars work. How is this working right now?
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden, we've been led to believe these trucks kind of have a life of their own. Mm-hmm. But here's the Bible salesman, and here's Brett. But you get them, and then you get Kurt and Connie, our newlywed couple.
Oh, my
That'll be in
God.
the Dixie Boys soon enough.
Yeah.
And their car seems to work, too. Connie, of course, Yeardley Smith, pre-Lisa Simpson.
Yeah.
Before she would become a millionaire for being on a television show for 35 years.
Yeah. And it's like, if you close your eyes, you're like, oh my God, that is Lisa Simpson in the car.
Oh, yeah. She has a very, very distinct voice. Yeah.
And it's to the point where you're just like, oh my God, I don't know how much of her I can take. Why did he marry her? How did this couple hook up and find each other in wedded bliss?
Just one of the many questions that will go unanswered in Maximum Overdrive.
I know some character stuff, some deep-seated character stuff on that guy. If you read between the lines, he's got a pee fetish, for one.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Okay. Well, yes, because they'll be in a tunnel later underneath the bathrooms, and he does seem to enjoy that just a little too much.
A little too much, yeah.
Or maybe a lot too much. A lot too much.
And even in the car, she's like, I gotta go pee, and he's like, can I watch?
Oh, that's right. Oh, what an observation.
When they're in the tunnel, I mean, we'll say it now. When they're in the tunnel later trying to escape or get out of the Dixie Boy, he's with Emilio Estevez and they're crawling through the sewer. And he's like, how many people you think peed in this? And then Emilio stumbles forward and splashes and gets some on his face. And the guy laughs and he goes, how'd that taste? And then when they stumble out of it, he says, what a great time. I wish I could do that every day. And I'm thinking, maybe you actually do.
Yeah. Boy, that is a fantastic observation. I didn't connect it with the earlier part where he's like, can I watch?
Yeah.
No, you cannot watch. No, that guy totally is into that.
Well, I was watching this movie with my sister, Caitlin, and she's the one that said, well, that's awful weird. When he brings up the, can I watch? And then later she's like, that guy's got like a pee thing going on, doesn't he? And I was like, holy shit, you're right, he does. And then it just got more and more and more. And we're just like, wow. Like, is that like a Stephen King thing that nobody knows about? Like, did you hear about Stephen King and golden showers?
Golden Showers, the next movie from auteur director Stephen King. Wow. No, that is an astute observation. Kudos, Caitlin. That's fucking hysterical.
I didn't mean to jump down to the golden shower land.
No, it's okay. That's great. I mean, it's not great. It's a good observation.
Yeah. I mean, to some it's great, and that's okay.
You know what?
We're not kink shaming.
Yeah, no. Don't unsubscribe. If you're into that, you're welcome.
Just send us an email and say I'm into that.
Oh shit. Eventually, our hitchhiker and our Bible salesman, they'll get into the Dixie Boy because she's kind of fed up with his handsy bullshit.
Yeah.
And that's when the Green Goblin truck really tries to kill someone for the first time.
Have you ever seen a truck like that?
No, I mean, I understand, right? They're trying to give
you need a villain.
Trucks personality, right? The more personality they can give.
Yeah.
But I did notice when it pulled up initially in the movie, driven by Frankie Faison, who loved Frankie Faison. I got a chance to work with him once. He's a cool dude.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, that big face on it, which is Marvel's Green Goblin for some inexplicable reason.
Yeah.
It's so shiny. It's got no bugs on it. It obstructs the view of the driver. Yeah. It's like 100% not street legal. That thing.
Yeah. Could you imagine the wind that would be pushing on it and how it would like force the truck and around and stuff? And, it'd be rattling against the front of the hood. He'd be like, God damn, this fucking Green Goblin head. Whose idea was this?
Well, it will try and run over the Bible salesman this first time, I think unsuccessfully.
Yeah, sadly.
Then later, Emilio goes to check it out, like, oh, who was driving that? Because Frankie Faison is like, he must have been a hot wire champion. And he holds up the keys like, oh, who's driving this?
Yeah.
But why is it Emilio who goes and checks it? Why does the owner of the truck not there? Like,
never gets out of the seat.
Truck? No. Frankie's there to relax. Frankie said, relax. He is in the Dixie Boy and he ain't moving.
Yeah. Someone just drove his truck. Tried to run a dude over, is driving his truck in circles around the Dixie Boy, and he's like, they must be a hot wire champion.
Not until after I've had my pecan pie. So then we cut back to our hero kid who's biking through the neighborhood. And again, this is where the movie is great, because you see like, people hanging out their windows, like, oh, obviously killed by a hairdryer, killed by a Walkman.
Yeah.
There's a really out of nowhere disturbing shot of a dead dog with a toy police car stuck in its mouth.
I'll be
Sirens
honest.
blaring.
That one pissed me off. Stephen King always has to fucking kill a dog. Seriously, all of his books, it's like, oh, you know, so-and-so tortured and killed a dog. It's just like he's trying to reach in and hit that dog lover and everybody, and he does. Like, I don't want to see a fucking dead dog with a fucking little RC car in its mouth. I'm trying to picture how that fucking happened. Like, how did that happen? All right? What about, like if a cash register slammed on someone's hand? I want to see that. Or maybe a treadmill that ramps up to cartoon speeds and sands you down as you fall onto the bed. And you're still tethered to it, but it won't untether you. And it just grinds you to, hamburger.
Yes. Listen, that is what you want from this movie. At least that's what I wanted. And that's why when I said that this is the part of the movie that is great, is because anything could happen. And in this scene, right, the kid is going to hide from an ice cream truck that comes down the road. And you're like, oh, that's cool.
Sentient sprinklers.
Killer ice cream truck. Yes, sentient sprinklers.
What about a crock pot full of beans that explodes when you walk by it? Or a pencil sharpener that goes so fast it pulls your finger in. Or a sous vide that knocks you into a bucket of water and takes so long to cook you don't even realize it's happening until it's too late.
Yes, all of those things. All of those things and more. And you know what we're going to get eventually is a half an hour of fucking trucks circling around a truck stop in complete fucking boredom.
I'd rather see an alarm clock that won't stop playing Here Comes the Sun and eventually you go insane and kill yourself.
Now it's starting to sound like The Happening.
What? No.
You know what could have happened in that kitchen? A panini press that slammed her hand into place when she was trying to check on a non-GMO food products Cuban sandwich she was making.
He was killed by George Foreman. The boxer? No, the grill.
You could say that line really, really, really legit. Yeah.
That's a fucking David Caruso line right there. You could take the fucking sunglasses off. The boxer? No, the grill.
Cue the fucking needle drop on the fucking Who.
No, exactly right. Yeah, so you'll get the ice cream truck, you get a lawnmower, and come on, as soon as you see that lawnmower, you're like, yes, killer lawnmower.
Yes.
That's what we want.
I want killer lawnmower. I want killer weed eater. I want killer snowblower. I want killer wood chipper hiding in the back seat of your car.
Yes, all of these things were possibilities.
Yeah.
And he goes back to that, like I said, I think it's the original short story, and it becomes a fucking snore fest.
Yeah.
But yeah, you see that lawnmower, and you're like, fuck yes, killer lawnmower. And then it really goes, no. It's like the video game hypnotizing thing from before. Like, oh, there's a cool... Nope. You just never see it again.
Yeah. Hey, you know what would be a cool idea? Yeah, that is a cool idea. Anyway.
I'm not sure we got the time, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Get the demo team out here. Tabitha?
Let's blow up another truck. Crash that one into a pump.
Let's fill this one full of toilet paper and then blow it sky high.
Because what's his name has a fucking arsenal under the Dixie Boy. He has so many weapons. What the fuck?
Yeah.
He's got Laws rockets. He's got machine guns.
Yeah. Like fully automatic M16 machine guns.
Yeah. Why did everybody not take a machine gun?
Why do they not just start blowing the fuck out of all the trucks?
Well, at one point, they kind of do.
Yeah, we'll get there. I mean, he's got rocket launchers, M16s. Hey, shoot the tires. Hey, shoot the fucking gas tank. There's like so many things. Again, like, why don't you just pick the electric carving knife up? What we'll see in a second here when the Green Goblin truck back at the Dixie Boy takes out Duncan, who's like, his eyes have been hit with the gasoline. He's like, I'm seeing double a little bit, but I'm fine. And then there's
I gotta go find my boy.
That weird close-up. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, he looks kind of fine, and then he's like, I'm fine. And it's a close-up.
Like blood tears? Yeah. Are you fine?
Did you even rinse that out?
Yeah, because it doesn't look like you did.
Really, you get gasoline in your eyes. You just wash it, guy.
I mean, was there no Visine available? It's a truck stop. There should be Visine and No-Dos, right?
Yeah, Visine, No-Dos, porn, fleshlights.
Yeah, High Society magazine.
There are those. Yeah, we see those a little later. Yeah. But yeah, Duncan gets squashed because he can't see. So I'm going to forgive him for his lack of lateral movement.
That is a great kill, though. That's my favorite kill of the whole movie. Because that's like bag of ketchup, man, just getting hit by the truck, right? Guy walking across the street with a gallon of red paint.
Yeah. In all his pockets, just fancy ketchup packets.
Yeah. It's brutally great. I love that. It's pretty funny.
Takes him out, and then maybe it's the same scene or next scene, the Bible salesman, Emilio Estevez, is like, get out of the way! Goes to push him out of the way, and the Bible salesman's like, no! And then he runs in a straight line.
Yeah.
The blind guy I'll give a pass to, but like, dude, just run at an angle. Go perpendicular. It's a fucking semi.
Zigzag a little bit.
Yeah.
He hates these cans.
Serpentine. But no, he gets blasted into a ditch where he will remain for the next few scenes.
Yeah. Mostly in
Whoa!
sound effects.
And we cut back to now Kurt and Connie, right? They've encountered a dead body and he almost got killed by a truck, and then they're on the road and they're chased by a semi, but then they get to the Dixie Boy where all the trucks are now circling, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, we gotta get in there. Why?
Yeah.
What? No. Why do you want to get, like, you just avoided all these trucks. Why do you want to, like, go in this place that is, just go down the fucking road, Kurt.
Yeah. Come on, man. Yeah, just take your golden shower fetish elsewhere.
I was just going to say, now that I have that little bit of information from earlier, I think it's the restrooms. He's like,
It could be.
They got restrooms with showers in them and everything. They did just get married. He is probably in the mood for some honeymoon water sports.
Well, it did look like he's doing a little something at the table with her at one point.
Sure.
Looks a little oddly rude in the room full of people. But
they're like, we got to get in there. And I thought, why? In this movie, like, this is where it's starting to lag a little bit. They get in there, and then they'll be in there, and then everyone eventually is like, we got to get out of here. It's like, why the fuck did you go in there in the first place? You had an option, Kurt and Connie.
yeah,
Don't fucking go in there.
It does start to lag a bit. At this point, we need a vacuum cleaner chasing a dog or a Coke truck that crashes into a Mentos truck.
Amazing. Yes. Give it to me. All of that stuff. Yeah, so Kurt and Connie, they try and shoot the gap. The truck slams into them. We get a good little car flip. I mean,
yeah.
These are some Chips quality
legit
smash 'em ups,
Yeah.
Slow motion flipping over.
Oh,
and they
totally.
rescue Kurt and Connie, and as one of the trucks is coming at them, this is where we see Mr. Hendershot has the rocket launcher all of a sudden.
By the way, is a one-shot rocket launcher that he seems to reload. It's a disposable, but that's okay.
He's got plenty of them, I guess.
Probably. I mean, he's got a shit ton of machine guns down there, so sure, why not? We'll just say that he goes down and gets another.
Well, yeah, before we see the armory, though, we get that really weird scene of Emilio Estevez in the restroom talking to Joey, who is reading a High Society on the toilet.
Yeah. Full of, like, fart noises. And,
giving the Foley artists a little overtime there.
a little toilet humor. This is where we need a bidet that blasts ice cold water so hard up his ass that he leaps up and slips in more water on the floor and falls and hits his head on the sink because he wasn't wearing his Elvis Presley poop helmet. But no, that doesn't happen.
Instead, we get an awkward conversation. He finds out, Emilio Estevez, Bill, finds out there's all these guns down in the basement. And then he does a thing that, like,
he's like, I shouldn't have told you.
Do people do this, though, where they're talking to somebody in this? Like, sure, I've had to talk to somebody who's taking a crap or have been taking a crap when somebody's like, hey, I got a pretty urgent question here.
Sure.
But, like, do you ever
pop up over and look? No.
Yeah.
No.
What's wrong? What's wrong with just listening? Why you gotta put your head over the edge of the stall, Emilio, and look down?
No.
Yeah. What's that about? You heard the pages of High Society turning.
Yeah, he was.
Emilio wanted to sneak a peek.
What are you looking at in there?
Yeah. Yeah, we will get some nudie pictures that come up a few times in this movie as they go back into the rec room or the break room.
Generally taped all over the wall. I mean, do you remember those days?
Yes, I do remember those days. But I was
like
wondering,
a 13-year-old's clubhouse, right?
Yeah, but I was wondering, do they get any sort of residuals from that?
I don't think so.
Because I watch Die Hard every Christmas, right? And there's that nudie picture taped up in that like utility hallway, and I was like, boy, I see this woman's breasts every single year at Christmas. She should get a cut of this. So yeah, you get the cellar full of guns, some M16s and all sorts of shit down there. Night comes and Bill and Brett, the hitchhiking gal, they're getting cozy with each other. It happens so fast in these movies. Does it still happen that fast in movies today? I guess it probably does.
I don't know. But it's literally been 12 hours and she's sleeping with Emilio Estevez.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that Bible salesman, when he comes and he's like, I don't know why she got a problem with me, because, I mean, I gave her a ride in my brand new car, and how does it, like, it's okay. If I give you a ride in the brand new car, it's okay for me to touch your leg.
I will tell you, it is a sweet Cadillac Brougham, I think is what that dude is driving, like the red with the white top. It is a very nice old Cadillac.
That Bible salesman is making a lot of money.
You know how many Bibles that is? That's a lot of Bibles. Yeah, and during the night is when, I don't know, I'm going to call her Flo, the waitress there. She starts getting little Charlton Heston itch.
Oh, that is so good. I mean?
She's got a little bit of like, we made them. Why are they doing this?
Yeah, wait a minute. We made them.
The trucks are circling outside. We made them.
AC/DC cues up who made who.
Yeah.
Right? You know?
Well, they also hear the Bible salesman's not dead yet. It's like this weird noise coming from the ditch.
Yeah.
And they decide they gotta save him.
Why?
Yeah. He was a fucking handsy idiot.
Yeah.
And hypocrite.
Yeah.
He got what he deserved.
A lot of these people here get what they deserve.
But no. Emilio and Kurt decide, look, there's a tunnel that goes underneath the showers. Kurt's like, I guess.
Yeah, duh. Is there a chance I'm going to get pee in my mouth? Because I'm totally interested in helping you.
Yeah, Kurt had already scoped out the tunnel. He knew it was there. But they're like, we got to get across the street there, or the little way, because the showers and the toilets are not connected to the main building. So we got to sneak through. So they grab the rocket launcher and some guns, and you queue up for Those About to Rock, right?
Yeah,
like a absolutely iconic AC/DC track. That great build in the beginning. And you're like, oh yeah, all right, fucking let's go. Let's do this. And then so the trucks are rolling around, and they
it's
get
like
the
a
guns.
big build.
They sneak through, and then they get in there, and they take the cover off, and they slip into a pee-filled tunnel, and that's it. And you're like, God, why that sound cue of all things? I was like, you've got a rocket launcher in your hand. I thought we were about to fucking rock.
For Those About to Crawl Through Pee-Filled Tunnels wasn't an AC/DC song. I believe it was different.
Yeah. For those about to crawl through pee-filled tunnels. Fire!
Sorry, Mom. Sorry. And for the ASMR people that now you gotta go. Put the show on pause, go, and then come back.
So yeah, they sneak in that tunnel, and we talked about this already, how Kurt's just a little too enthusiastic about this. And they get out to the tunnel because it empties into a ditch, which could only be like the filthiest place on planet Earth.
Yeah.
Fucking truck stop ditch where the showers empty into. Good God.
The showers and the urinals, apparently.
It's surprising there weren't a couple of dead hookers in that ditch already.
Yeah.
You just like stumble upon like a pile of skeletons from fucking Joey's fetish.
Or like a beaver dam made out of condoms. Like, what is this?
Syringes and broken bottles and used prophylactics. Loving life. But while they're going into the tunnel, that our hero kid has made his way to the Dixie Boy as well. And he will see the dead Bible salesman in the ditch. He's like, Mister.
Yeah.
And then we get a real unnecessary jump scare.
Yeah.
Where he's like, drag me out of here. I can't.
Yeah, that was like a George Romero thing. And I heard at one point that Stephen King actually took a little time off from this movie to go into rehab. And
really?
There's rumor that George Romero came and did some directing.
No shit.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, this moment goes absolutely fucking nowhere, or it just not where it should, I guess, because then Emilio, Bill, and Kurt come out of the tunnel, and they're like, oh, look, it's the boy.
Yeah.
Duncan's kid, Deke. And they get that kid, and the Bible salesman, they're like, oh, I guess he's died. He's just dead. They don't even go check his pulse or anything, just like he kind of dies off screen there after scaring the kid.
Yeah.
It's so weird. You contrived that whole moment so that they could get this kid. That was the way. That was the simplest way from point A to point B, huh? So the kid comes back, and I think Emilio does blow up one of the other trucks with a rocket launcher there. And again, why stop? Why not just unload all that firepower on them? But no. Again, they're so like worried, but they're also complacent about like, yeah, we can just stay here. And the morning comes, and Flo's little Charlton Heston itch has now grown into a full-on Chuck Heston.
You
special.
maniacs!
Oh my goodness.
You blew it up!
Yeah.
We made them.
I don't give a ladybug.
You can! We made you!
Your mama.
You! Can't you understand?
Wanna know?
You can't do this! We
That is a perfect trailer for Maximum Overdrive.
It's insane. And of course, you hear the machine gun fire there. That's because that morning, a bulldozer and a platform on wheel. I don't even know what you call that kind of vehicle. It's a four-wheeled machine gun lorry.
It's a Jeep with a machine gun.
Yeah, but it's not. Doesn't have a Jeep's chassis. It just has four wheels and a platform. And that also made me wonder, it's not electric. They can fire guns. Mm-hmm. Why don't they just fire all the fucking guns down in the basement?
In the basement, yeah. Why are those not animating?
Oh, well, I'm not going to think too much about this. Because
those aren't controlled by the comet, or what the other explanation might be at the end.
Yeah, so we get that beautiful Charlton Heston moment there. Mr. Hendershot, Pat Hingle, he also gets blasted by that machine gun. And this is when the movie just fucking completely grinds to a halt.
Well, prior to that, Mr. Hendershot does have a touching moment with the young boy where the kid says, "What happened to my dad?" And Mr. Hendershot says, and I quote,
He done got scrubbed by one of them big old bastard boys out there.
What? He done got scrubbed by one of them big boys out there. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a nice, sensitive way of telling a child that his father is dead.
It wasn't nice enough for Brett, because our hitchhiking lass came up and smacked him right in his old face.
You, sir.
I declare.
I declare, sir, you are a scoundrel. Indeed, you, sir. Good day to you.
I have never heard such out-of-line, absurd commentary.
Why, a woman, a road twitch, coming up on me like this.
A road twitch. Yeah.
What in the fuck is that?
I don't know. Stephen King just coining phrases now. Yeah, we get this whole fucking complete, just like, the bottom falls out of this movie. The trucks have been circling around, and you do think, like, well, certainly they got to run out of gas sometime. And then they, like, convince them to pump the gas, and we get this whole pumping the gas in the semis, and it...
Yeah.
Oh, I guess it's really hot. It turns into, like, a fucking scene from Cool Hand Luke or something. Like, what is happening here?
Yeah, and I want to say, I could be wrong, because I was going to reread the story and then I ran out of time, so I didn't. But I think this went on for a long time, and they were like out there for days refueling the trucks until they run out of fuel. And so I think they're trying to kind of portray that sun and I'm sick and I've been doing this for 18 hours straight and, and someone else takes over. But no, it's more like, you did it for an hour and you got tired and some other guy comes up and it's...
Yeah.
This movie doesn't do much with its sense of time. It gets confusing as to how much time is going by. The one girl says, all we got to do is survive the 8 days it takes till the comet goes away, and we'll be fine. And I'm thinking, sure, there's probably 8 days worth of Twinkies in there.
Yeah, you got a full kitchen.
Yeah, you should be fine. Why do the trucks not just drive right into the building?
Oh, my God. Yes. Why do they not just drive into the building? And they'll get there because after this weird pumping montage...
No, we made them, though. It's not fair.
We decide, like, we got to get out of here. Like, oh, okay, now you decide you got to get out of there. So they sneak out just as all the trucks come in to bulldoze into the Dixie Boy. And why didn't you do that before?
Yeah, exactly. Here comes some more cocaine.
Oh, yeah. Gonna write Pet Cemetery now. Yeah, they want to sneak to the marina because Emilio is told, or Bill has told Brett, I got this dream about being a sailor. I'm going to go to this island without any vehicles, motorized vehicles at all, just sailboats. And I'm like, okay, all right. This sounds great.
I'll be honest, though. He's not considering scurvy, okay? And that is something every sailor should be worried about.
Grab a bag of oranges, Bill.
Yeah, there might be a bag of oranges there. I don't know.
So, yeah, they sneak out. The trucks blast into the Dixie Boy. There's another big explosion. Way to go, Steven. Very good.
Again, so much shit blowing up in this movie. This is why I would love to have worked on this movie.
Yeah.
Trucks and AC/DC and explosions. Come on. This should have been a dream job.
If it hadn't completely hit the skids at this part, I'd be like, this movie is totally fun from A to B. But it is so boring. It's just so boring and during this whole chunk of it. And they get to the marina. They sneak to the marina where one guy likes costume jewelry too much and sees a dead woman hanging out with a ring on her finger.
And then the goblin truck sneaks up on him.
Yeah, good job. Sneaky 18-wheel diesel-powered green goblin fucking truck.
Gigantic fucking truck. I guess, like the cartoon version of this, it's tiptoeing on its tires.
Yes, totally. 100%. So he gets smashed. Emilio hits it with the rocket launcher one more time. Adios, motherfucker.
Yeah. Which, isn't that what's his name said in Species?
Let her go, you motherfucker, I think. I prefer the adios to the let her go.
I mean, it's bilingual for one.
Yeah.
And Emilio Estevez does have that bilingual quality.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Although his mom, why couldn't you just help him paint his house?
It's a valid question. I hope she asked him right after the premiere.
That is such a brilliant thing to say. I fucking love that so much.
So they get the sailboat, and Emilio immediately shows his sailing acumen when he can't untie the mooring rope. So he just takes a razor blade and cuts through it.
Yeah, because you're not going to need that later.
I know. You could unloop it. You could untie it. Okay, you just have to, on the boat there, you just have to unhitch it. Okay, just going to cut through it. All right.
Hey, Steven, he says it's going to take about 5 seconds to get the rope up. Just cut it. just cut it.
I don't have time for this. And then they sail off into the sunset, and we get a little epilogue about, hey, guess what? It was a UFO the whole time.
Yeah.
And the Russians blew it up. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, wait a minute. Huh? It was a UFO the whole time? What about the comet? Was the comet not a comet?
Me all night long. Just shut up and cue up the song.
We need more AC/DC.
Oh my God. So what do we want to rate this with?
I have no idea.
Semi-trucks, carving knives, rocket launchers,
sentient sprinklers,
killer ice cream trucks, falls on its face. Again, when they get out of the truck stop, right? When they get out of there, then you get like that fast food sign that's talking like humans, and they blow it up. The ice cream truck comes down. There's like more cool shit. The biggest mistake they made, and listen, am I about to tell Stephen King how to write something? Yes, I am. Biggest mistake they made was just staying in that fucking truck stop. If they had been moving and it was just shit going haywire and different stuff all the time, this movie would be 10 times better.
So, what are we gonna rate this with?
Well, we got semis, we got carving knives, we got lawnmowers, we got steamrollers, we got soda cans.
Ooh,
soda cans.
How many vending machine soda cans would you give this?
How many vending machine soda cans?
Rocket-propelled soda cans coming out of a vending machine. How many in your salvo?
I'm going to give this 3 rocket-propelled soda cans.
Nice. There are times when I'm watching this movie and I'm like, this movie is a fucking 7, and I'm taking a bong rip and I'm like reaching for some chips and I'm like,
Hell yeah! Did you just see that? What just fucking happened? How great is that?
and then there's other times where I'm like, I haven't checked my email in like 73 minutes.
God.
I should take a look at my email.
You have hit it.
So it's so hard to say what this is. What did you say, 4?
I said 3 because to
3.
me, I didn't have as much fun watching this as I did watching Leprechaun. But I thought it was marginally better than Halloween 3 Season of the Witch.
Oh, you need to go straight to hell.
I'm sorry, because this one has exactly what you're talking about, like all those explosions and all of that stuff that does make it fun from time to time.
Okay, it's a 4.5. 4.5 rocket-propelled soda cans coming flying out of a vending machine, but at times it's 7 bags of chips.
All right, should we head into the lobby and then we can talk about the turn of the millennium?
Yeah, and you know what? While we're in the lobby, I'm going to let the trailer run for this movie too.
Sounds good. See you in a bit.
Hi. My name is Stephen King. I've written several motion pictures, but I want to tell you about a movie called Maximum Overdrive, which is the first one I've directed. Wow.
What in the dickens is going on around here?
A lot of people have directed Stephen King novels and stories, and I finally decided if you want something done right, you ought to do it yourself.
Who was driving it?
I don't know.
Curtis! It's coming after us!
It was my first picture as a director, and you know something? I sort of enjoyed it. I just wanted someone to do Stephen King right.
You want a war? You got one.
I just want to get the hell out of here.
So come and spend some time with me and my friends at the Dixie Boy. Spend some time in the dark.
Please don't let us be in the dark.
Help me.
I'm gonna scare the hell out of you. And that's a promise.
You're going to get us in an awful lot of trouble, man. We already in trouble.
Maximum terror.
Jesus coming and he is.
Maximum King.
Maybe tomorrow will be our world again.
Dino De Laurentiis presents Stephen King's Maximum Overdrive.
That's a great lobby break.
Oh yeah, that's a really good lobby break. I mean, we're going to talk about the movie Y2K now, which is a movie that takes place right around in Y2K, and it's on the New Year's Eve in 1999. And I'm going to tell you about it all in a second now.
Kyle Mooney, writer, director, actor. You said it already, just like Stephen King in Maximum Overdrive. Go,
Boom! Go!
God.
Oh, my teeth are so shiny.
Y2K.
Y2K.
Tell me about it.
Dude, Like Y2K, right? So check this. It's New Year's Eve, and everyone's first all chilling with Prince like it's 1999, because it totally is. But these dudes, they're just trying to score some serious party action, right? They're like, Y2K? What? Am I right? So they're with their homies sipping on some brew and smoking out some kind bud and trying to find the sickest rave in town and hoping they can roll up on some fine-ass hyenas. And then the ball drops, and it's like the next Milan, right? But instead of being cool, it's like a total bummer because like the bots are tripping hard and they're hashing people's mellows like real bad. So people start tripping because it's like the world is ending and stuff, which sucks. Am I right? Yeah. So these dudes got to be all grown up and shit and try and figure it out. Y2K came out in 2024, which is like 24 years after Y2K. Just so you know, like if you're doing math and stuff.
Oh, things were not copacetic. You know, when you were just doing that, your feed tripped out on, and it just started like blurring all over. Couldn't have been more appropriate. Yeah,
oh, that's good. That's nice. Nice. That's good. Kyle Mooney. That guy's funny.
Yeah, from Saturday Night Live, right?
Uh-huh.
He's done a lot of stuff on Saturday Night
Writer,
Live.
director, and plays one of my favorite characters in the movie, Garrett.
Yeah. I think if you were between the ages of 15 and 25 when the millennium hit.
Yep. When we actually all were slightly concerned, we weren't quite sure what was going to happen. Like, really?
Well,
could something happen with the computers?
We didn't have social media to stir us up into a complete fucking panicked shitstorm like we do
Could you imagine
nowadays.
if we did?
Oh my God. There'd still be no toilet paper at Costco. What a fucking nightmare. Yeah. Y2K was not for people who can't take it easy. Just like, oof.
Yeah.
But I think, like I was saying, if you're age between 15 and 25 when we went from 99 to 2000, I think this movie will hit hard. Like every nostalgic button. Like from frame one, it is a love letter to that moment in time. Mm-hmm. And since the characters are all essentially like high school seniors, if you were around that age at that time, I think you will really enjoy this movie. And you know what? I was 23 when we went into the new millennium.
How many hours of free AOL were you able to get at that point?
Oh my God. I'd saved up the discs, so I had 10 discs. I think I had 600 free hours. And you want to know what? I used them all in the first week. And then they charged like $19.95 per hour.
Oh my God. I remember those days. Remember Prodigy too? Which was like the other thing that like, it was like low budget AOL.
Mm-hmm. It's weird to think about. Because the internet has come out, but it's really pre-Google at this point.
Yeah.
Pre-social media, pre-cell phone. So, yeah, really people were just downloading porn at very, very slow rates at this time.
Exactly. You're like, okay, she's a blonde. Okay.
Please.
Okay. She has a neck.
Boobs. Please be boobs. Please be boobs.
Boobs, boobs, boobs. Yeah. Yeah.
Please don't have a dick. Please don't have a dick. Please don't have a dick. Please don't have a dick.
Yeah, those were the old days of downloading porn.
It was a different time.
I mean, let's be honest. Kind of miss it. You know, now,
I don't.
Now.
Nobody wanted that surprise.
Nobody wanted to wait that long to be disappointed.
I dug this movie, actually. I mean, besides it being nostalgic, I think that there's a lot of legitimately funny moments in there. You talked about Garrett. He's a terrific character, you know, playing the stoner who runs the video store in town. I certainly knew that character at that time.
Yeah,
when I was growing up.
I knew that guy, and his name was Hap, and he sold weed out of his van.
Yeah.
And Hap was short for happy.
But you get some good performance in this as well. Julian Dennison, who plays sort of the best friend of the character, he's great. Like,
he is awesome.
He's got a lot of charisma, too. And I would say that although this movie drags at times, there's still enough funny moments throughout that it helped bolster the silliness, and I could just enjoy the ride. And, you know what, make a couple tender moments in there as well. But this is mostly just kind of a goofy, silly movie that just takes that idea of like, well, what if Y2K really had gone haywire?
Sophomoric humor mixed with horror.
Yeah.
which is good. It's got the Tucker and Dale vibe, right?
Yeah, and I think because it plugs so hard into that nostalgia center that it's very easy for me to think, that I'm 20 years old again and really like all of that kind of sophomoric humor.
Yeah. I'm never going to stop loving sophomoric humor,
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, the first time I watched it, I was like, eh. And the second time I watched it, I liked it a lot more.
I picked up more jokes the second time I watched it.
So did I. I picked up a lot more jokes. And it was the second time I was like, this movie is actually a lot funnier than I thought it was the first time. Because there's a lot of things happening in the background.
Yeah.
And lots of bits of dialogue that are just kind of trailing off into the background.
Oh, yeah. That I kind of noticed a lot, too.
Yeah.
And that's definitely got to be Kyle Mooney's hand. I certainly hear it from his character plenty of times.
Yeah.
But I think he probably just directed people to sort of throw those out there.
Yeah, like, I'm not going to spoil it, but, where he calls that one kid Soccer Chris, and the kid goes, it's just Chris, it's not Soccer Chris, who are you? And someone else goes, it's Piss Mouth. Because he had told that story earlier about how his buddy had peed in his Coke as a joke.
Yeah. Yeah. I have to say, too, whoever the casting director was that cast Soccer Chris as the sort of like bully jock, chef's kiss, because
totally.
That kid just screamed bully the moment I saw him. Like, oh, this is exactly the kind of dickhead jock bully I remember from school. He even had the bully's teeth. Like Gary Busey's kid has just those giant fucking teeth. I was like, oh, that's got the bully mouth and everything.
Yeah, totally. Bully mouth. I love that. That's great. I don't know that there's much to say in the non-spoiler part other than, like James said, if you grew up in that time frame, you're going to get a kick out of this movie.
The trailer pretty much shows you that things go haywire in this movie.
Much
that
like
the Y2K bug
Maximum
is
Overdrive.
real, and it goes full maximum overdrive.
Legit. Except there's no trucks. That's the
Thank
one thing
goodness.
this movie is missing. Is trucks. If this movie had a lot more trucks and cocaine. I don't think there's any cocaine in this movie.
There's plenty of other drugs in it, though.
There's plenty of weed. And there's one beer, but we're going to have to share, which I'm cool with.
couple sheets of acid, some shrooms, and bags full of pills, too. So, what do we rate this with, then? We're going to jump into the spoiler section.
How many...
Tamagotchis?
I was going to say killer Tamagotchis.
Yeah, let's do it. How many killer Tamagotchis do you give Y2K?
Well, I'll tell you, the first time I watched it, I probably thought 5.5. Maybe I wasn't 100% in the mood for it, but I kind of feel like I was, but I got a little lost. I didn't really pay as much attention. I wasn't listening as hard. And then the second time, when I watched it just like 2 days ago, I was like, this movie's way funnier than I remember. And so I'll give it 6.5 killer Tamagotchis.
6.5. I am going to go with 7 killer Tamagotchis. If you were that age, you are going to vibe with this movie. Mm-hmm. If you're too old, like if you were older when the millennium hit, they're just going to seem like a bunch of fucking idiot kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you were too young, then a lot of the nostalgic hits that this movie is sort of banking on are going to go over your head. You're not going to get it. You might understand the youth, but like I said, this is pre-cell phone, pre-social media.
Yeah.
Values have changed a lot since those days.
They have. Yeah.
You just don't understand how long it took to download bare boobs.
Exactly. Like a ticking clock. You're like, come on. Okay. Yeah, there's her chin. Okay. Yeah. Okay. There's her neck. Oh, is that a bra? Or is that part of a negligee?
I'm going to start this before I head to class. So when I come back for lunch, blammo.
It's ready to look at. I'm going to print this out on a dot matrix printer and see what that looks like.
Picture.
Times were simple.
All right, let's head to the lobby, and then we'll come back and spoil Y2K.
Sounds good.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. bar to get ourselves a treat.
Listen, things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Show starts in 1 minute.
And we are back from the lobby. All right, so Y2K, starting at the beginning with 300 free hours of AOL. And then the old school sounds of signing onto the internet with your modem. Man, modem noise. I forget about that.
Oh, yeah. Every single time.
Yeah. So good.
God, there must just be landfills completely full of AOL CD-ROM discs.
Wow, could you imagine?
I can't. They were just so ubiquitous. They were coming in the mail like junk mail every other week.
Yeah.
And then can you imagine going over so hard on your data that you were on AOL? And AOL was such shit. The pre-Google internet, before we had search engines like Google. Mm-hmm. So yeah, right from the beginning in Y2K, we've got that opening shot with the modem noise, and AOL is coming online, all those little pop-up windows.
Yeah.
A little buffering video of Bill Clinton talking about being prepared for the Y2K virus. Even the way like, they made it buffer, slow shit-ass internet.
Yeah. At one point, they talk about how great DSL is going to be. I know. We're going to have DSL at school next year.
But they are just rapid fire hitting you with the nostalgic shit, right?
Yeah,
the kids are practicing the Macarena in the driveway.
Oh, yeah.
We got Billy Blank's Tybo.
Uh-huh.
He's AOL instant messaging with the girl who he wants to have his New Year's kiss with. She's got hacking skills, and she's put something on the school's website that only her friends can find.
Yeah. Silly, fun little stuff. Young love.
Yeah. And I mean, they're hitting the nostalgia from every angle because he's about to leave for his friend's house, and his mom is Alicia Silverstone, who was such hot shit right around 1999.
Totally.
Yeah. She clueless, and she was going to be Batgirl in that really terrible Batman and Robin that came out.
Oh, yeah. I forgot.
She was in Blockbusters, and she was the hottest shit around for a few years there.
And then we meet his brother, his boy.
Yeah. Danny. Julian Dennison is that kid's name. He was, what is it, Deadpool 2?
Deadpool 2, yeah.
And
that's where I first saw him.
I saw him with Sam Neill. It's an old Taika Waititi movie called Hunt for the Wilder People. He was just a little boy in that. But when you see somebody like a kid actor and you're like, oh, they got it. They got charisma,
Yeah.
He's just this little chunk, but immediately you're like, this kid has star power. Honestly, I think he's the best part of this movie.
He absolutely is the best part of the movie.
Garrett is funny. Garrett will come in a little bit later, but he's going to anchor the beginning of this movie, no doubt. And he's doing Tybo with his mom. Mm-hmm. Billy Blank's Tybo.
Which is great. Yeah. And after this is when they decide they're going to go to the video store to pick out whatever movie they're going to watch tonight. Right?
And
because they're probably not going to go to the party, it's just they're not feeling it, right? It's all the cool kids, and they kind of don't want to go. So they go to the video store.
Yeah. Anytime I see a skinny, floppy, brown-haired twerp in a movie who's like, I don't know about going to the party, I feel instantly so hard for that character. Like, I know your pain, brother. I remember those days. Instantly rooting for him. Yeah, they're gonna go to the video store and pick out Junior. I think Arnold Schwarzenegger's Junior.
Which has been a while since I've seen it. And I'm feeling like Junior and Twins might be a good double feature.
Twins is legitimately good. Junior, I'm not so sure. Although, as it says on the box, nothing is inconceivable.
For those of you who don't know, Junior is it's an Arnold Schwarzenegger comedy where he becomes pregnant.
I want to have a baby. Yeah.
It's not a tumor.
Yeah. It's a boy. But they decide to go back into the champagne room with Garrett and get high.
Yeah.
The mom and pop video stores that had the bead curtain or the back room where they had all the...
Where they have all the porn.
They have all the adult films. You would go to a store with movies and then they would have a room full of porn movies? It just...
What? No.
Were there hieroglyphics on the wall? What fucking era are we talking about here? Had Rome fallen yet? What age is this? My God. Yeah, exactly. No, people did this. People did this.
Yeah, so they sit down, they smoke a little weed with Garrett. Only the one. Only Dennison.
Yeah, only Danny smokes, and Garrett starts dropping little nuggets of
he says
wisdom
something
on him.
like, just some bomb-ass kush and hella thoughts. And then he goes into, like, all these little thoughts. And one of them is like, lasers, right? Like, why don't they spell that with a Z?
Yes. Good question. I always want to spell it with a Z.
Yeah. Well, why is it spelled with an S?
Yeah.
What else would Garrett have thought?
Oh, God. I knew Garrett so well at the video store that I worked at. So, yeah, it's just like, people always talk about putting your pants on one leg at a time, but just sit down. You can put both legs in at the same time. Then you're amazing. People talk about, like, is the glass half empty or half full? Just pour it into a smaller glass, man. You're changing perceptions as your happier reality, man. Thinking outside the box is so mainstream now, you're just thinking in a different box. You gotta stop thinking about boxes. But you can't.
Do you think if they had Gouda-flavored Cheez-Its, the slogan would be, these are pretty Gouda?
They would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think horses ever talk to each other and say, stop humaning around? Or no human play? Or, I'm glad not everyone smokes weed because there would totally be less weed in the world. Do you ever notice that when you're on a treadmill and you fart instead of getting away from it, because you think you're walking, instead all you're doing is turning into a big fart cyclone? I do have that thought.
That is the second treadmill-related thought that you have related on this podcast.
Well, I tell you, I get on the treadmill every morning, so it's always in my mind. Yeah.
I hope I don't fall down and saw half my face off.
Yeah. At the end of it, as you just hear him trailing off into these weird thoughts, like, Kleenex, that's a brand name. And Q-tips, those are really cotton swabs. And he's just kind of going on this whole thing. And then he says something about, sure, you could borrow my musket. This is the American Revolution.
That's why they call it the American Revolution.
How did we get to that?
I fucking laughed so hard the first time I saw that.
Now I just want to tell people, sure, you can borrow my musket.
I will tell you something, though. Having known plenty of Garretts in my time, never once do they ever say, I'm glad everyone doesn't smoke weed. Yeah. They're always like, everyone should smoke more weed is pretty much part of their,
You're totally
their
right.
creed.
That was a paranoid version of Garrett that's afraid that weed's going to run out at some point.
Yeah. I'm glad my roommates don't smoke weed, maybe. Would be the thing.
Oh, good stuff.
But yeah, they get their copy of Junior, and then they go back to the house and lament the fact that their parents are out partying and probably cooler than them.
Yep.
When our boy Eli, who's our main character, just decides, fuck it. And he breaks the padlock on the liquor cabinet. Like, they padlocked their liquor cabinet with a padlock. That's intense.
I mean, there wasn't a padlock on ours.
Maybe there should have been.
No, I think there should have been, because I did replace with water more than once. Any kind of clear, gin or vodka. Yeah. No, I'm going to take a shot out of it, and I'm going to refill that shot with water and put it in there. At some point, all you got's water.
Yeah. Luckily, no one in our house could tell the difference. But that's some Patreon content right there. You're going to have to go through the paywall to hear those stories.
Legit. Mom is on the paywall. She should write one of those stories. Tell us.
Oh yeah, we did skip over the fact that they got invited to the old factory that night by Garrett.
Oh yeah.
Like, hey, come on down, just some bomb ass kush and fun for the whole family. If the family likes tripping balls. And we get another set of bullies when they come out of the convenience store. I will say I appreciate how this movie breaks up the sort of demographic groups of the high school in the late 90s. There's so many different kinds of kids, and when we get to the party, eventually we'll see them all. But there's even different groups of bullies, which I find, well, that's a good, accurate detail. Normally in these movies, you get like one bully and his fucking chums, but like there's sports bullies, there's burnout bullies. Our two hero kids here, Eli and Danny, just running afoul of everyone as they bump into the metalheads outside of the video store.
My third favorite character in the movie, and that's Farkas, Eduardo Franco, who played the stoner in
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things, yeah. He is good at playing a stoner.
The very long, luxurious hair.
Yes.
My gosh, he must use Prel.
I remember Prel. I like the way it smelled.
I think they had that back in the late 90s still.
Oh, sure. Point. Absolutely.
And we also skipped over the part where they go to the convenience store and our boy bumps into the girl he wants to have his New Year's kiss with.
Yep, and her friends steal a bunch of beer and run out.
Yeah.
As he's about to have he's having sort of a tender moment discussion with her.
Yeah, very truthful, awkward conversation with her. And I did notice, though, what do they call it? A booze bust or something? They have a name for stealing all the liquor. But having grown up right around that time, I was like, where's the Mad Dog 2020?
Yeah.
Where's the Boone's
Farm? Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Like these are not the things that you drank back then.
Why is there not peach schnapps in somebody's hand?
I did see a couple of 40s of malt liquor though, and I was yeah, that tracks. You got to get that fucking Colt 45. Works every time. So yeah, he's like, I don't know if I'm going to the party or not. And they say like, oh, everybody's going to be there. And we cut back to their house where they're watching Junior, and finally they fucking have had enough.
Crack the liquor cabinet.
Smash the liquor cabinet open. And I'm not even sure what it is they're drinking right there.
It looks like vodka, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe.
But again, they're replacing it with water.
Good for them getting the vodka. Like, I remember having a run-in with Malibu coconut rum. That's what I got my hands on, and I've never been able to drink it since.
Malibu coconut rum sounds like a guy you'd meet somewhere. He's wearing white linen, open shirt. Oh, that's Malibu coconut rum. Hey, man. No, that's cool.
Smells like suntan lotion.
Smells like copper tone and Thai stick.
and high karate.
Yeah. Or Drakkar Noir.
That's it. Malibu coconut ron. Hey, everybody. Everybody having a good time?
Hey, cool. That's cool, man. Cool.
I don't want to harsh or mellow here, but machines are taking over. See, our boys get a little liquid courage in them, and they're passing around like the magic condom. Right?
Oh, yeah.
They found the condom in a copy of The Giver in the school library. And one of them is going to use it. It's going to be destiny.
It is going to be used tonight, this condom. It is a big deal. I remember having a condom in my wallet for years.
I was just going to ask you, do you remember where you got, like, your first condom?
I really don't. It must have been from a friend, though. And I held on to it. Someday I'm going to use this.
Yeah. And then it slowly just starts leaving an impression in your wallet.
Absolutely left a ring impression. And then by the time you think you are going to use it, or you notice like the foil has a tear in the hole, or a hole in the corner because it's been like worked so many times in your back pocket, and then all of a sudden like it just sort of crumbles open and there is no lubricant. It's just like it's like a potato chip of a condom. It's hard. It is no longer a condom.
Yeah. Yes. It has transcended its very nature.
Indeed, sir. You are no longer a prophylactic.
Oh. Yeah, I think my first one I got from a truck stop vending machine.
I thought you were going to see some guy like Malibu Ron.
Hey, kid, you got to protect yourself.
Malibu Ron and Truck Stop Don. Now that's a show I'd watch. They're cops, right?
Yeah, that's right. Tonight, after Riptide.
On Malibu Run and Truck Stop Don.
You know, truck stop bathrooms, they always have the vending machines.
Sure,
and it's got like a regular condom, but it also has like a variety of like the Screamer.
The French tickler.
Exactly, the French tickler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about those. The Lapland sheepdog. It's got little flappy ears on the end of it.
Yeah. The Shinobi. You don't even know it's there. Swedish meatballs goes.
The Swedish meatball
goes over the testicles? What? I don't even know. I don't even know how this works.
Honestly, this feels constricting.
I put my quarter in and gave me something random. This one's called the boat hook. That doesn't sound good.
Oh, the Sailor Jerry.
Sorry, that one's mine. Malibu Coconut Ron, how'd you get in here? I thought I locked the door.
Truck Stop Don's got the key. Oh my God.
So yes, they've had some liquid courage. They've passed around the magical rubber, and they're going to the party to get their New Year's kiss. And this party is where we will get that great shot from one group of kids, from one clique to another, and you see Soccer Chris and the jocks, and then you've got like the raver kids who are all in kind of like neon colors.
Yep.
And then you've got the swing kids, all with like fedoras and fucking suspenders.
And every time it goes to the new group, it's their style of music that's playing.
Yes.
That's fucking great.
It's fucking wonderful. It's wonderful introduction to this whole party group and the dynamic. And then after they get through the metalheads, the music stops, and our boy Eli takes out his mix CD that he has made and puts it in there, and it's the Thong Song by Cisco, which is such a terrible, terrible song. I don't know when the last time you heard that was. I heard it on the...
Yeah, it's been forever.
I heard it on the radio a couple of weeks ago.
Really?
And, oh my God, it just blew me away how intense and earnest Cisco gets singing that song. It is fucking wonderful. You definitely should check it out for a good laugh. Much like we were talking about the R. Kelly Trapped in a Closet like a week ago or whatever.
Oh, sure.
That
was on
of
Patreon content, wasn't it?
Yeah, ridiculous, earnest quality to it. That's fucking amazing. But then Danny does not a lip sync. He starts singing and dancing along to it and becomes the life of the party.
Totally.
Which is pretty great.
I had been Danny a time or two. And I think, in all honesty, as Danny, you're like, yeah, everyone fucking digs me. And there's really about 7 people that dig you, and there's like 23 that are like, I don't fucking get it. What's up with that dude?
Not at this party. Everybody loves the Thong Song.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. And we also get introduced at this to the bucket hat kid, CJ, who only likes underground MCs and who will become a major part of the core group moving forward.
He says, underground MCs spit like real shit. Truth, always. One of the things I learned in this movie. I didn't know that prior. I had no clue what underground MCs were spitting. Apparently it's truth. It's real shit, and it's truth.
It is.
Yeah.
Truth. But midnight will come, and our boy Eli will miss out on his kiss because Soccer Chris is getting all up in that.
Yeah.
And it's taking over Rachel. Or not Rachel, Laura. It's played by Rachel Ziegler. Is Laura, who's the cute hacker that our boy's got the crush on. And Danny's getting some action, too, after being King of the Thong song.
Yeah.
Everything's looking great.
There was one line, and I can't remember exactly where it was. It's probably around this, or maybe it was even in the convenience store. And he says something about how Danny is changing. He's talking to Laura. And he says, I'll never change. Unless there's something about me you think I should change.
Yeah. And she instantly says, your haircut. And he's like, wow, I didn't think you would come up with something so fast. Yeah. He's a good awkward dork. He's really good. And yeah, Laura is definitely out of his league.
Yeah.
For sure.
And playing with him a little bit, you know.
Yeah,
you know.
well, it's a very accurate portrayal, I think.
I think so, too. 100%.
But midnight comes. They get their kisses.
Yeah, we haven't even got to it. At this point in the movie, I'm like, oh yeah, this is a horror movie.
And so far, it's just been a nostalgic trip with a bunch of, like, silly fucking laughs and stuff.
Yeah.
But now shit is about to go wrong. Screams from upstairs. Oh, what could it be? They all run up there, and the Craftmatic bed that the two have been, the two kids have been having sex on, has hurled one of them up into the ceiling where they have gotten their temporal lobe severed with a fucking ceiling fan.
Yep, exactly. Apparently the sleep number on that bed was 666.
Yeah. Art Linklater did not prepare you for that. He sold you that Craftmatic.
That's right.
That's right. That's a joke for all of our older audience there.
I mean, if you find that joke cheaper, your mattress is free.
And yeah, this party is going to erupt into chaos now with some very funny, very good kills.
Yeah.
It just goes so off the rails. It's wonderful.
Yeah, a guy holding a blender to his crotch, screaming.
Yeah. He had been pointed out earlier, I think, for having a boner when he was talking to some girl. And so now the next time you see him, he has a blender on his boner. I mean, like on his pants.
Like, come on, what?
Yeah. One of the swing kids has somehow got one of his hands has been ground off and it's just spurting blood everywhere.
No. Yep.
Yeah, the little car rolls in with little Tamagotchi attached to it because these machines seem to be collecting each other and combining into one. So the little car rolls up and pulls out a can of hairspray and a lighter and completely engulfs one kid's head in fire.
The kid laughs and he goes, I use gel. And then the little Tamagotchi says, you've got mail. And then lights the fucking lighter. And blasts him with the hairspray. Fucking hilarious.
One girl gets KO'd as the VCR ejects a copy of Varsity Blues out at maximum velocity. Takes her out.
They really missed that being a Maximum Overdrive movie.
Would have been perfect.
There should have been a Maximum Overdrive poster in there somewhere or some reference. But no, they missed it.
It's moving too fast now.
Yeah.
Soccer Chris wants to leave with the girl.
It's not Soccer Chris, it's just Chris, all right?
And she won't leave with him, so he's like, oh, you want to hang out with these nerds? Fine. And he leaves and is tripped by the dishwasher. His head goes
into the
microwave, which starts up and cooks him.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Raver trips in the hallway as a little mechanical amalgamation of many different little things, saw blades and a drill just drills right through her temple. lobotomizes her pretty viciously. Like,
good stuff.
The kills are fun.
Yeah.
They're pretty intense, too.
Yeah. I mean, it's obvious there's not a lot of money in this movie.
Yes.
And some of them look very hokey and cheap. And I forgive it because the movie's fun. You know, I don't really care all that much. But I think on my first watch through, that was one of the things I was like, oh, this really looks low budget. And there's some really bad digital at one point when they're looking at like the town and stuff. And I was like, yeah, that looks like AI just created that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's far from a perfect movie.
Yeah.
It's far from a perfect movie, to be sure.
Yeah.
But just like I always wanted, when I was saying I wanted maximum overdrive, like, I want shit to go crazy. I want like, the danger to be coming from all quarters. Like, what's going to malfunction next?
Yeah.
This movie is just pouring it on at this point. At one point, they just go downstairs into the living room, and somehow there's just 15 dead kids down there. You don't even know how it happened. There's just like, bodies all over the floor. But the raver gets lobotomized with the drill, and then Danny steps up and tie-bows that shit to death. Just smashes it with his foot over and over again. Again, something I felt was lacking in Maximum Overdrive, where no one had any lateral movement or seemed to be able to understand that, like, oh, we can move around this thing or pick this thing up. It's not that big of a threat. Yeah, Danny just smashes this thing, and everyone locks themselves in the garage to take a breather for a moment, figure out, like, where the fuck are they going to go?
I mean, how come a record player didn't come on and spin so fast that the 45 came flying off and cut somebody's throat? Right?
They had an opportunity. I mean, later in the movie, someone will get a CD
sure,
shot at them so hard that they embed themselves in their skull. So, yeah, they're on that page. Just not yet. But here's also what you got to remember. This is 1999. Nobody had a fucking record player at this point.
That's right.
Nobody.
That's right.
You know, people that were like real vinyl snobs had record players. It wasn't nearly as, you know, there was no resurgence in popularity like there has been the past few years.
Yeah. Like if this happened nowadays, instead of like a dot matrix printer, it would be a printer stuck in 50-point Comic Sans. It wouldn't stop spitting out sheets that say live, laugh, love. And then you die from an abundance of paper cuts. I mean, that wouldn't have happened back then because it would have been a dot matrix kind of.
Death by paper cuts sounds so unpleasant.
It really does. There would not have been a toaster firing day-old burned bagels into somebody's head.
A toaster is one of the most dangerous appliances. Frankly, I'm surprised we didn't see one take somebody out.
Honestly, yeah. Because you always worry about, like, oh, the bagel got stuck. I have to reach in with a fork and get it. Now you're about to be electrocuted.
That's right.
It's like don't run with scissors. It's like one of those classic things.
Just got to unplug that toaster, baby. Come on.
That's right.
So they gather in the garage to kind of collect themselves and decide, like, oh, you know what? The old factory where the collective, Garrett and his stoner friends are gathering. We got to get there. And
let's go
Laura's
there,
like, yeah, my ex-boyfriend is there, and he's an engineer, and he'll know what to do. Again, just taking this back, there was never a thought like that in Maximum Overdrive. No one was ever like, we got to get an expert on this.
Yeah,
it was
these
just
are
like
17-year-old kids.
And what you got to do is just take that thing and skin it right back there, and then turn around back, and then that's what you want.
Your daddy, he was scrubbed out by one of them big boys out there.
But we get one of the most surprising moments in this whole movie. Because Danny, who, as I said before, I think is the best part of this movie, says, hey, you almost forgot your backpack, Eli. And then through the door, a saw blade sticks him through, right through the chest. And Eli comes in, pulls him off, and they have a touching little moment there.
Emotional death scene.
Yeah. Do they pass the condom back and forth?
I think so.
Does he pass him the condom at the end? Yeah,
I think he
so
does.
Too.
Yeah, he does. It's important.
But our boy dies.
Yeah,
such a surprise.
Shocking.
Yeah.
You totally expect him to make it through the whole fucking movie, and he kind of should.
Yeah, I mean, when we talk about what's good and bad, I was surprised by that choice, which I always enjoy a surprise.
Yeah,
but the movie lost something when he died.
It lost the best character.
I think so.
Yeah, totally.
I think so.
And minutes later, it will lose another best character.
That's a great death. So they're like, okay, here's a killer robot inside there. It's only getting bigger. We got to get out of here.
Yeah.
They get bikes, they get skateboards, and our boy Eduardo Farkas, he gets some
the
rollerblades. And he's like, I just missed qualifying for the X Games. So he's going to shred on these.
He's legit.
As soon as the garage door opens, he sees a basketball hoop that's been knocked over and instantly wants to take it to Grind City.
Yeah, sees the rail on it.
Yeah.
He goes, oh shit, go time, motherfuckers. And he skates towards it, and as soon as the wheels touch, bang, he hits his head right on the ground, and he's dead.
Yeah.
And I could
his skull
not
right open.
stop fucking laughing.
Yeah, that was great.
It was.
Yeah,
It
funny
was.
how they killed two such good characters so quickly, like within minutes of each other, and I had complete different reactions to them.
Yeah.
The Danny one, I was really sad to see go, but that kid, I just thought that was fucking hilarious.
It was absolutely. It's the funniest kill, and he accidentally does it himself because you could see that happening. And then that one girl runs up. She's like, "Oh my god!" And there's all this blood pooling up behind his head, and you're like, "Oh yeah, he's dead."
But we essentially have our core group, the group that's going to see us through most of this movie. We've got our boy Eli and Laura, and then we've got CJ, the bucket hat kid who loves underground DJs, and then
because they spit nothing but truth.
And then the girl who loves Limp Bizkit, who always carries a camcorder with her.
She is a big fan of the biscuit. Yeah.
And then they get the fuck out of there as the robot, only getting bigger, crashes out of the house, and they're able to get away on their bikes and head towards the old factory.
That's one of the things I would personally call the bad, too. I like the cute little weird pieced together robots, but when it's obviously a guy in a suit with some fabricated shit just sort of wrapped around him, some wires and a thing that looks like a monitor, I'm like, no, I wish it was cooler.
Yeah, I think probably like you were pointing out to budgetary concerns.
Absolutely,
right?
Budgetary concerns, 100%. Well,
I'm with you.
It's an A24 movie, and it's got your standard A24 $15 million budget. And I feel like you could have spent that money a little bit better in a couple of places, but maybe it was, buying all the nostalgia shit.
Well, it really hits the nostalgia shit just right, and it has the look. One thing that will become more and more prominent through the movie that I really noticed is the colors in it. Late 90s color palette is a very specific thing. Lots of teals and hot pinks and yellows and very vibrant, bright colors and stuff. And as these beings, these robots, begin to all join together, they're not that standard steel gray, trashy Terminator style robot. Do you know what I mean? Like whenever you see these things, they always tend to look a little more machine-like. These do look like shredded up Tamagotchis and Trapper Keepers and old iMac desktops. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like they all have that sort of weird, too bright, too flashy,
the iMac
mechanical
desktop monitor,
Cosby sweater. Yeah.
The old one looks like a robot head, right?
Yeah,
totally. So it fits. It fits for this.
And I think we're going to see one pretty soon as they make it to the old factory and then they reunite with Garrett. The collective.
The collective.
Think about, here's all the drugs we got.
Yeah.
Weed, couple sheets of acid, mushrooms.
There's one beer.
One beer.
Which is Sharesies, but I mean, I'm cool with it. Yeah, his character is so great.
Yeah. And Laura will get reunited with her ex-boyfriend, who's handsome and well-built and everything our hero is not. Looks like he's been foraging for berries, so he's taking care of everyone.
Yeah.
And the collective comes in with like a...
She says, where is so-and-so? And Garrett, he gets like a funny look on his face, and he goes, he's gone. And then the dude comes walking in. He's like, oh, there he is. He had just gone foraging for berries. Like any hero would.
This movie probably is worth a second look just to see Garrett's reaction a lot of times, because he does kind of throw a lot of stuff away and underplay a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's pretty hysterical.
And again, he was the writer and the director as well. Good shit.
Yeah, so they're all hanging out, with the collective, I guess, playing music. And at one point, somebody has a rain stick. So fucking perfect late 90s.
The funny thing about the rain stick is when that robot comes in. Yeah. And then, like, they're going to try and attack it. And then the guy's like, no, that's my computer. You know, he's like, well, hold on. And he tries to save, like, this one might be good. And she's going to hit it with the rain stick. And there's that pause where it goes back. And then you just hear it, like, continuing to drizzle the beans into the thing. Yeah. As it goes on for, like, a good 7-8 seconds of just shh.
Yeah, because his computer has also sort of taken a humanoid shape, but his... I guess hard drive and monitor are there, and it has tracked him down, and perhaps these things have empathy, or exactly like you said, maybe this one is good.
Yeah.
They do tie it up, and Laura tries to hack into it. Maybe we can see what their plan is. So they manage to see the singularity, the whole plan. We get a nice little exposition dump as we find out that these computers essentially want to assimilate the human beings and use them as a power source.
They made a little MPEG that shows, and Garrett, astonished, is like, they made a movie.
It's like, they even made a movie.
I also applaud the movie for not trying to make that movie or any of the graphics that the computers are capable of any more futuristic than they would have been in 1999.
Yeah.
They still have that cheap, a little bit cheaper than Lawnmower Man type graphics.
Yeah,
on
it's Max Headroom, 100%.
I mean, maybe a little bit better than Max Headroom, but they always kept it of the period, of the era. They didn't try and make it any more science fiction-y, realistic than it would have been.
It's legitimately a 90s love letter.
And then the computer breaks bad, right? After they find out, the master plan. You get that sort of evil red eye. The computer tries to choke Laura.
Yeah.
Our hero says, no, she's the girl of my dreams. Don't do it. You don't want to do it. And then they got to put it down with a bunch of bong water. They just pour a bong into the computer to kill it.
I mean, they're already being more resourceful than the people at the Dixie Boy. Aside from the fact that the Dixie Boy had a military arsenal below it.
Yeah, and they didn't use it very well at all.
No, not at all.
So they're assimilating the humans in the school, of course, or high school that they've got to get back to.
Yeah.
So they decide to head out there, and on the way, they are cornered by one of the giant robots, and here comes Garrett to the rescue.
So good.
He just crushes a bag full of pills into his mouth, takes out his devil sticks.
Yeah.
And he starts
flipping them around and then holds them up.
You've even got some wind. They had a wind machine, so his white guy dreads are blowing in the wind.
Yeah. How come he never had a hacky sack? Like, that's the one thing that was probably missing in this movie, is I don't remember anyone using a hacky sack. And that there had to be some scenes of them at the collective doing it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure he had one in his pocket.
Yeah.
At one point, they say something about, that's Garrett. He's a good guy. And then she's like, yeah, for a white guy with dreads. Which, that tracks.
Yeah, totally. So he's going to take on the big bad robot.
That has a weed trimmer for an arm.
Yeah.
Is that what that was?
Yep.
Not quite a chainsaw. It looks more just like a hedge trimmer.
Yeah. I don't think it's as lethal as the movie shows it to be.
Yeah, it certainly does the trick of the movie. As Garrett rushes in and immediately gets disarmed.
Yeah.
And by disarmed, I mean...
his arm is cut off. Yeah. At the elbow. And he goes, what?
Oh, I don't like this.
What? No.
Before his head gets cut off.
Yeah.
Just rolls across the ground.
Yeah. Again, a good heroic death where the hero does absolutely nothing.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And perhaps because he is the writer-director, he gave himself a little extra juice, but seeing the slow motion pan in as his hair is blowing in the wind is pretty funny. It's pretty great in this.
And I'm sad to see him go because he is one of the best parts of the movie.
Yeah. And the kids who are still fleeing decide to go into a porta potty to hide.
What? No.
Which is then
knocked over?
Over by the robot down a hill. And this is how they will escape. And it's weird, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. And it's totally unnecessarily gross.
But this is also why we paired this movie with Maximum Overdrive, because both of them have a serious issue with pee and getting it on your body.
Yes.
And crawling around in either a sewer or having a porta potty erupt all around you as you're about to kiss the girl.
Much like Maximum Overdrive, they will completely ignore the fact after it has been done.
Pretty much.
Like they've crawled through it, but nobody ever says like, oh, you stink. Or they're like, oh, I got to take a shower. Or I got to wash this off.
Yeah,
nope.
I think they rinse their hands in the river.
Yes. Some fetid, probably brackish water.
Exactly.
They're just like, oh, let's rub it in my eyes. Yeah, it is a good moment. I will say, although it is unnecessarily gross, when he is having like a tender moment, looks like he might kiss the girl as the porta potty is sliding down the hill.
It's splashing around.
Pretty good. Yeah, and you're, yes, close your mouth. Close your mouth.
Come on.
For those about to rock.
So they gotta make one stop before they get to the school. So they stop at the video store so that our hero can get a new pair of shoes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's when the most surprising twist of the movie happens.
Absolutely.
I did not see this coming.
No.
At all.
Neither did I. 100%.
A figure comes out of the shadows in the video store and talking about how he's already been through some terrible stuff, and he is recognized by the girl as Fred Durst, lead singer and founder of Limp Bizkit.
And it is Fred Durst from Limp Bizkit as himself.
Oh, man.
So good.
Were you ever a Limp Bizkit fan?
I wouldn't say I was a Bizkit head, but I remember some of the songs, and I would think, oh, that's not a bad song. You know?
Yeah.
But I wasn't like, oh, man, I'm so into the whole rap metal crossover.
Well, that's too bad because it's quiz time. Let's hit it. This quiz is called Biscuits, Limp or Not. So I'm going to give you a scenario. You tell me, is it Limp Bizkit or is it some other kind of biscuit?
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
Did it all for the nookie.
That's Limp Bizkit.
Top money-making horse of the 1940s.
That's Seabiscuit.
Crispy with a weird poultry flavoring, a snack staple of the 70s and 80s.
A Triscuit. No. It's some kind of biscuit. I just can't remember the name.
It's chicken in a biscuit.
Chicken in a biscuit. All right.
Was almost called blood fart.
Limp Bizkit?
Correct. Flour, shortening, salt, sugar, and baking powder comprise this General Mills staple.
Indeed, sir. That is a staple of a Southern diet. A breakfast of eggs and sausage and biscuits with gravy.
I'm sorry, we were looking for Bisquick on that one.
This is unfounded, sir.
3 out of 5, pretty good.
That's pretty good for me not being the giant Limp Bizkit fan.
Yeah.
Well
solid
done.
biscuit. Solid biscuit.
Solid. Yeah.
I saw Limp Bizkit in concert at that Woodstock 99.
Oh, hell
that big
yes.
fiasco where they burned everything to the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were there.
Yeah. I was there.
Nice.
There. It was a crazy time. But I was not a huge Limp Bizkit fan, and I think I went to the other stage while they were playing. Because they weren't really my thing.
Yeah.
I did see Korn play, and they fucking almost set the place on fire.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was a weird time. Maybe that's a story for some Patreon content.
That sounds like a Patreon story for sure. I bet you I got some concert stories too. We can.
Oh, yeah.
That's legit Patreon content. Coming soon.
So our kids meet Fred Durst.
Yeah.
Which is so crazy, and they convince Fred to join the party as they head to the school.
Yeah.
And they're going to make their final stand. But it is also in the video store where Laura, our hacker, comes up with the idea to put a virus in the computer. Mm-hmm. She gets it from the copy of Independence Day, which is in the porn room, talking about introducing a virus into the mothership or whatever the fuck it is.
I don't think I caught that joke until just now. I mean, I think I just missed the title, and I thought to myself, that looks a little like the Independence Day cover.
yeah, Independence Day, and I think Fred Durst says something like, "You guys are crazy. You want to do this based on some fucking movie?" He's like, "Maybe video games and movies are contributing to the delinquency of the youth." And he's like, "Shit, you got me talking like Tipper Gore now."
Yeah.
But they do manage to enlist Fred. They take him to the school, which is crawling with robos at this point. And yes, to your earlier point, now it's just like a bunch of guys in suits. And it's kind of disappointing. They didn't create some different models.
Yeah, or some things that look a little bit more like the Terminator or the thing from Hardware, which is fucking cool.
Yeah. I mean, this is 99, so nobody's going to be rolling around on a Segway quite yet. But, you know, if something had rolled around instead of walking on two legs, that would have been fucking cool.
Yeah. We get a budget.
And, we got to make our final stand here. CJ, our bucket hat kid, dies saving Fred Durst because he gets shot with a couple of CDs to the forehead.
Fucking good.
Yeah.
And the girl and him have had that on-again, off-again, bitchy relationship, fucking with each other, not quite liking each other.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "I never thought I would die next to a rap rocker." And she goes, "What about a homie?"
It's actually pretty great, their little relationship.
It is, yeah.
Those two make the most of the moments that they are given in this movie. And there's so many times where people just do like bad rapping in this. But he does it in front of Fred Durst a couple times. And Fred Durst is like, "Ooh, that elemental flow." He's like, "Oh, that flow again." He's got like nothing but respect for the kid. Yeah. It's great. So our girl needs to go slip a flash drive into the port somewhere. Fred Durst sings Faith to distract everybody, I guess. They find a room full of hostages. And
that are being assassinated.
Yeah, and so he's like, "Oh, I'll get in front of everybody and I'll distract them. That's what I do." And he kind of is bombing up there.
Yeah.
And then they sing Faith.
Fuck you, Fred Durst. Nobody cares about your shitty band. Those are great lines that are just bombing out from left and right field.
Fantastic. Yeah. And again, a lot of that in this movie, you know?
Yeah.
The jokes don't always take center stage. Sometimes they're just lobbed over the wall.
Yeah.
Or sort of tucked around the corner. It's funny, I was thinking about it though. Fred Durst is singing to all these people, but the people are playing like the parents, you know, that are in this gymnasium, but they were probably actually the age to listen to Limp Bizkit back in the late 90s.
Absolutely.
So I'll bet there were some people there who were like, "Fuck yes."
Yeah.
Fucking Limp Bizkit is here?
Yeah.
I got to be here while we're just fucking singing and hanging out with Fred Durst. I'll bet there were some of those people that were really, really into it.
Absolutely. There had to be some of that, for sure.
So our boy and our hacker girl sneak into the mother brain and have sort of a little confrontation with the singularity, with the AI that's controlling everything. And they're on the clock. They've got to upload the virus before the bar reaches 100%.
Yeah.
Because that's going to activate everything.
It's going to finish it.
But she keeps getting shocked. And what could insulate her hand against the electric shock?
What could?
The magic condom.
The magic condom. The Jackrabbit Slim.
That's right. The Apple Hammer.
The Northern Lampshade.
Grizzly Bottoms. BJ and the Bearskin.
the Sheriff Low Boner. Oh, goodness. That's enough.
So he takes out the gold nugget and they wrap her hand in it, and she's able to slide the flash drive in and upload the virus and save the day.
Ta-da!
And there was much rejoicing.
Yay!
Honestly, it's not like a super involved climax or anything like that.
No, there's not a bunch of things electrocuting and blowing up and,
No. Maximum Overdrive definitely has that in spades over Y2K. Maximum Overdrive had a legit demolitions team that was on set.
Yeah. That movie is like a demolition derby happening. At one point in Maximum Overdrive, there's just like 5 minutes of trucks breaking shit.
Yes. Yeah, all the explosions and carnage in Y2K is pretty much done with VFX or, somebody
on your
somebody
iPhone.
Has a broken CD glued to their forehead after the shot, Yeah. Of course, we'll get our kiss after this. Our boy will finally get to kiss the girl at the end, and then we'll get a little bit of denouement where they visit the grave of Danny and say their goodbyes. They're all friends now. They're all going to be going off to college and living their lives. Fred Durst has become a senator. Also
Senator Durst.
owns Durst Industries, where our hackers got a job. She didn't see that coming. No one saw that coming.
Oh, he did it all for the nookie.
He did.
Yeah. Anyway, honestly, I think these movies are a great double feature.
I do too.
It's a fun, stupid weekend, and it's a laugh riot, and it's worth seeking out and doing, for sure.
Yeah. Y2K, if you were between 15 and 25 when the big ball dropped on the millennium, it's going to hit you a lot harder than it will if you are older than or younger than that. I think it was even produced by like Jonah Hill and people that wanted to make this movie as, like you said, a love letter to the 90s. Largely, it succeeds, but it's for a very specific demographic.
Yeah.
But yeah, together... Yeah, you'll never look at Mr. Coffee the same way.
Thanks for sticking in with us on this one. If you want to reach out to us, send us an email at thewholedamnthing13@gmail.com. And if you are not a Patreon member, by all means, jump in there. We are the whole damn thing at patreon.com. And got a couple of different levels you can join in at, and you get some fun stuff at joining in at those levels. And it's cheaper than a cup of Starbucks, for sure. Also, it gives you access to the Discord. We got something special coming up. We're doing a March Madness thing where we're going to be whittling 16 knife-wielding maniacs and franchise favorites down to a champion. And we're going to do that all in the month of March. What are we calling it? The Bracket Bloodbath?
Bracket Bloodbath. It is in the style of March Madness, but not affiliated with the NCAA in any way. I think we have to say that. We're also on Instagram, the whole damn thing 13. You can find us on Instagram, posting a lot of memes, also alerted when the new episodes drop.
Wait, you know what time it is?
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the shout-out!
Shout-out! Yeah. Look out!
Look out for the shout-outs! These are the people that joined the Patreon recently. Want to send special...
Patreon.
The Patreon. At patreon.com. The whole damn thing at patreon.com. These people decided they like the show enough to help support us. We are supported by you, the listeners, that like us enough on Patreon. So here we go. Word of the Broad, thank you very much. And Kate Wilford, a new subscriber. Thank you so much.
Daniel Burt joined at the $4 level. Thank you so much, Daniel. And Patrick Hamau. Did I say that right? Patrick
I don't know.
Hamau?
He's Canadian.
Patrick Hamau, eh?
Oh, yeah. Hey, also, you know about Daniel Burt? He's one of our listeners in Portugal. Whenever I see a download from Portugal, I pretty much know it's him.
Oh, I wish I knew how to say thank you in Portuguese.
Well, I think he's American. He's a comedian and he lives there. Anyway.
Oh, well, thanks, Daniel. Who's next?
Theo from TC. I don't know what TC is, but thanks, Theo, for jumping in at the $4 level. And Millzilla. That was a terrible...
That's about as good as it gets, though.
Yeah,
Karen Keener. Thank you so much. Caprice Sage. Sage. That is a badass name. That's a good one. Caprice
totally
Sage.
badass name.
You joined at the $4 level. Thank you very much.
Speaking of badass names, Tim Phoenix. This dude was on fire, and now he's reborn.
Rising from the ashes.
Thanks, Tim, for joining us at the $4 level. And Jane Bach. Well done.
Jane Bach. Thank you so much. And thank you to Dustin Urbanski.
Hell yeah, Dustin.
It's people like you that make doing what we do so much more fun.
Absolutely. Thanks, everybody, for joining in. And if you haven't joined in, or if you've joined for free, we're not going to read your goddamn name. Not if you were joined for free. But you throw a little money at us, man, we are totally going to make fun of you. That's what you want, right?
Want to say a special thank you to Matt Box,
Matt Knife,
Matt Black. That sounds like a real name. No, if your name's Matt Black and you didn't join the Patreon, we're not saying thank you to you. But Matt, you know who you are. You've done a lot for us, and we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Matt, you are the king. Thank you. We got good stuff coming out in the future from collaborations with us and Matt, and lots coming, people. Thanks for joining. We'll see you next time.
Shout outs! Yeah!
You've got mail. Goodbye.
The head, the tail, the whole damn thing.
That wraps up another episode of The Head, the Tail, the Whole Damn Thing. Next week, Saw, alongside Heretic. I'm Tyler Patton, along with Mike D. McCarthy and James Knight on The Head, the Tail, the Whole Damn Thing. Are they still giving away, like, really high scores to everything? Oh my, I gotta talk to these guys. It's really just like Monty Hall City. No one knows what that means. Well, Monty Hall was, you see, in The Price is Right, he was the guy who gave away stuff just for having a button in your purse or something. So it's as if you're rewarded for not doing as much. So if someone's Monty Hall, then that would mean that they're over-gifting. So a Monty Hall City would be a city where everyone is doing that. So this being the city and the boys being Monty Halls would be Monty Hall City.
Thanks, Tyler. That's good for now.
Yes. Next episode. See you then. Yep.